Good afternoon. I know that you're excited. Please stand, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome the 1979 and 1980 champions. Save the first two rows. All right, like the director of traffic. Come on, we can continue to clap and enjoy. We'll have some more seats, so that's the good news. All right, while they're working out the logistics of that, give them a big, thunderous ovation. I would sing for you, but I have been advised not to do that. Isn't this tremendously exciting? You are such wonderful people. You see how they're still standing and honoring our special honorees today. All right, magnificent. Ladies and gentlemen, I am tremendously happy to welcome you to this auspicious, magnificent occasion today as we honor our champions. Washington, better known as Teddy, called me, and I was tremendously excited. And after 43 years and 32 years, some fellas I've known all of my life would get away. And they heard! Let's recognize our special guests. They knew with us, are you present? I was told you're here, please stand. And thank you for what you have done to help make today today. Now, if he's not here, it's not my fault, because another person said they saw him. Where is he? He did see it. Okay. Thank you for giving a good God bless you. Thank you for what you've done today. We've got other special honorees. We have coaches here and cheerleaders and sponsors and family members of these dynamic players. Would you please stand right now? We're going to give you a good thank you too. Where are you? Cheerleaders. Let's do it like this. Cheerleaders. They made us play harder, that's for sure. How many coaches are present? All coaches. PBE, I know there's one assistant on the front row. We're coming back to them. There are other coaches. Yeah. We have all of them played such a dynamic role and part in our development, and we certainly appreciate it. Let me do one other thing. How many teachers of Wetumpka High are here from 7 to 980? Are there city council persons present or commissioners, please stand. Thank you for being present today, and thank you for being present. I said to my colleague driving in, I said, man, we will have standing room only. We are so excited to honor our guys. All right, and so next, there was a gentleman in charge of putting together this documentary, and so where is he? I can't see. You gotta stand up. Oh, it's a young guy. Come. This young man is the son, he bears his name, Lucius Williams. And another is Papa.
That was good, y'all. My name is Lucius Williams. I just want to give a big thank you to the class of 79 and 80 Wetumpka basketball team. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. My name is Lucius Williams, and I just want to give a big thank you to the class of 79 and 80 Wetumpka basketball team for allowing me to have this amazing opportunity to be a part of this documentary. I enjoyed learning about the history of Wetumpka basketball and all y'all achievements, and I hope y'all enjoy this documentary as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Last but not least, go Indians.
that on most nights was packed to the rafters and beyond capacity too, has long ago been changed over for other use for the community. But if you drive by the old gymnasium, or for a more resounding effect, just peek through the doors and step in, you get an eerie feeling that seems to take over your mind. Only you can almost hear the crowds cheering the whole team on. There goes the final another home victory for sure. Another opponent bites the dust. I mean, after all, it was always that way for the Stars. Always. 1975 until 1980, on that old campus, in that old gymnasium, these boys never, and I mean never, lost a game on their home hardwood. Folks in town still remember, even if it was long ago, the memory of these champions still has not gone away.
Raymond Molino started that. I used to call some baseball games, and then eventually I called a few basketball games, not high school, but at AUM and in Faulkner. And then we started doing the football games here in Wetumpka. They were good boys, and you know, the thing I remember about mostly about them when they were in school was Coach Walter Long. He's dead and gone now, but he was teaching PE, and he had them all in PE. He had Steve Slaughter and Lewis and Teddy and Martin Crenshaw and Danny Williams and all of them out there. They had to play basketball, and he made this statement to me one time. He said, "This bunch is going to do something one of these days." So that's the situation. We knew early on that they were going to do good, and they didn't disprove it.
So we start our journey here. Buckle up. This trip down memory lane is like none other. 42 years ago, this small town high school basketball team accomplished a feat that no other team in school history had ever come close to. They won the school's first ever state championship in any team sport. And for good measure, they came back a year later and repeated as state champions for back-to-back titles. The years were 1979 and 1980. The school, Wetumpka High School. The town, Wetumpka, Alabama. A small town with a population under 5,000, situated 15 miles from the state capital of Montgomery. There were celebrations, of course. A police escort awaited them at the outskirts of town as they made it back to the city limits. Yes, just as one might expect, the police escort was complete with flashing blue lights. A car parade through the neighborhoods was in store for them as the police led the way back into town after their trip to Tuscaloosa for the state tournament, or Title Town, as they called it back then.
Well, I've always been the one that's been involved in school, and to see a bunch of young men who've got much of a volume won't be a part of something that's great. I recognize what they were. I started out just as an athletic trainer. I started with Teddy because he had injured his ankle and it had to be taped every day. Figured out I taped his ankle probably 125 to 130 times. And they needed people to help. Well, you're going to be a part of a school, you're going to help wherever you can. So I also kept the clock for home games, and then for the next year, their senior year, I kept the scorebook. And so I was trying to give back to these young men, this great team, whatever I could to help them.
There was a big pep rally at the school to present the state championship trophy, or the blue plate special, as it was called, to the student body who went completely wild at the sight of their champions and the school's first ever championship trophy. There were banquets and congratulatory letters and awards and big write-ups in the local paper. Wetumpka Herald, of course. Even the big city Montgomery Advertiser had the champs on their front page, and the state's largest city paper, the Birmingham News, even featured Wetumpka's champs too. The whole town was abuzz and just so proud. These boys had done something no others had done. Folks from all walks of life came by the school just to say congratulations and to get a peep, just a peep, at that blue trophy that seemed larger than life at the time. These boys had done good, and all of Wetumpka just bristled with pride. They had put Wetumpka on the map. At the championship game, they had truly showed that we're from Wetumpka. Couldn't be prouder. If you can't hear us, they're outstanding basketball players.
We were in the old gym back then, not the modern gym, but we were in the old gym, and the seating capacity was, you know, we could handle a lot of people in there, but they packed it out. They packed out the gym whenever they played. People wanted to come and witness this and see them, how they control themselves, how they handle the ball, and how they move up and down the court. So it was exciting to watch them. So there was an aura about them that just kind of drew you in to, this is greatness. And these guys are going to be good, and I want to see it, I want to watch it, I want to be a part of this. Basketball it was always a great sport around Wetumpka. They had some good teams, but this was a group that had the potential of being great.
They won 29 games, only one defeat in 1979, to finish 29-1. A year later, the 1980 champs were 28-4 on their way to a repeat performance. By then, everybody throughout all of Alabama knew about the boys from Wetumpka High School and their ferocious basketball team. One college coach even came and offered every graduating senior a scholarship in 1980 if they would come and put his school's colors on and bring their talents to his camp. These guys had it all. But for 42 years, there's been one thing missing. The team never received state championship rings. To some, it might seem like a trivial thing, but a few conversations with some of the team members would quickly reveal that those elusive state championship rings and the like thereof has never drifted far from their minds as to when will they finally get to slide those shiny, well-earned rings on their fingers.
Basketball was pretty much our whole life, to be honest with you. We grew up with neighborhood friends, playing at the rec. So everything we did centered around playing basketball, being in competition with each other. So that was a lifelong endeavor for us.
Our thing was we were there, we could. We definitely not lacking in confidence, and we wanted to win the championship and bring it back to the city of Wetumpka. It was something that we had prided ourselves playing basketball. We all love the game. And something we look forward to from junior high all the way through high school. So it was our opportunity and we wanted to cash in.
It was just a wonderful thing. You know, we were young kids at the time, and we just competed hard and played hard, and we wanted to bring some joy and excitement to the city of Wetumpka. And that was one way that we were able to achieve that goal.
It would be great if our story started and ended here. But if you know anything about Wetumpka, Alabama, it's not just that simple. If you've never heard of Wetumpka before, sit back and listen up. This story is one to truly be shared over and over again. You see, this team's success was years in the making. Somebody would say that this championship story started when the guys on this team were knee-high to a dunk. Wetumpka was like most southern towns and cities back then. Even though integration had supposedly taken root, the vestiges of segregation often lingered in the minds of most. After all, before integration, the all-black Elmore County Training School, which later became W.E. Dobie High School, had some terrific athletic teams of their own. Closing down and moving to the all-white Wetumpka High School was not particularly popular with either side of the affected schools.
It affected us in the sense that we knew how to play ball, and when we went over to Wetumpka High, there was a lot of setting up and running plays and such where we were used to on the playground, but we learned to play. It wasn't a problem learning to play there. But going over playing in what we call organized ball, it slowed us down a lot. But there are times on the court where in the heat of the battle that we get to rebound and throw it out and start a fast break. We just do it on our own. So it wasn't really
It was tough in those early days of integration in the early 70s. There were black players who thought they should have been selected for the school's basketball team and believed they were not picked because of their race. There were white players who believed they were not selected for the team because the school was catering too much to the black players. Growing pains for sure. There were some pretty good basketball teams in those days. They turned in solid performances for sure. The 1975 team almost made it to the state tournament, finishing 27-1, but losing nonetheless in the regional finals. One game shy of going to Tuscaloosa, but none had gone where the 1979 and 1980 teams would go, all the way to state. That's kind of where our story really begins, except for not quite yet. You see, these 1979 and 1980 champions, the guys who've waited 22 years for their state championship rings, well, they were being groomed for greatness, the old-fashioned way. They were learning the games as spotty nose knuckleheads. They were all just by attending high school games in the old high school gymnasium and watching Wetumpka stars before. They would eat popcorn and drink Coca-Cola all night long, cheering for their idols of the Wetumpka teams of the early 70s. Their heroes from those teams, Super Chicken Mitchell, Jerry Banks, Winfred Wise, Ed Jackson, Ricky Lewis, Bill Franklin, Larry Big Oop Makita, Ricky Marshall, just to name a few.
Oh man, I tell you what, born and raised here in Wetumpka, like most kids, my dream was just to play ball one day. I guess the people I probably respected the most, the idols that I had was like the Bruce Lee guy, the martial art guy, and Maravich, Pistol Pete. And I'll never forget, one of the things that he had said was, if you want to be good at something, you need to practice it. If you put 10,000 hours into it. And I remember getting out a pen and paper, and I figured out, well, if you did that 3 hours a day for 10 years, that would get you 10,000 hours and something. But really, like most kids that were interested in sports in high school, most of them didn't just play one sport. Most of us were multi-sport guys, and most of these guys you'll see were multi-sport guys, but played basketball and played football, and enjoyed them equally well. But it was a blessing to play with those guys. Those memories that I don't think anybody can ever take from us.
Well, coming up as a young kid, you know, most of our activity was going to Wetumpka Rec during the after school and during the summer program, and the older guys be out playing. So, you know, you want to partake and participate in the, you know, summer ball as well. So that's how I got a love for the game, playing basketball, even though I was playing with a kid that was much older than I were. But that's what's the thrill of me, just get out there and compete, play against them.
Oh man, growing up with them, not knowing that we were going to have a championship team, we always played when we was little kids and stuff in the neighborhood. But as we grew older, we were getting play more basketball because that's all we had to do around here, and we loved it. But we had some older guys play before us that influenced us, like Wendell Wise and all of that stuff. So we wanted to be like them, Jerry Bites. Certain guys, you know, were still in the hood, because we wanted to be like them guys, legendary players, ball players. So also we had some older guys, way back in the day was pros like my brother Billy Lewis and Curly Bowman, Ed uncle, and his brother Raymond Jackson. They taught us all that stuff. And Coach Twitty was the one in high school and guided us, and when we played in high school. So it was fun when we got to get older and start playing basketball together, because Bill Franklin had a goal in his backyard that he could practice in with his stuff every day. But we had to play against each other up at the rec center on the dirt. We started out with rims that you used to have to make your own basketball goal. Every day we played.
We was all together, all of us seniors, and we thinking about going to the championship. And then, like, it didn't work out for us. We lost by 1 point to Childersburg that night because of not thinking at the right time. We lost by 1 point because we didn't have any more time out. And it was all. And then Lewis and Teddy and all these guys was right behind us looking at this. You know, we set the tone for those guys. And it was a good thing, because I went to all their championship games, 79 and 80. And they had the same kind of identical team that we had, but the only thing about their team, they had a bench, and we didn't have a bench. We 5 just had to play every night.
So, 1979 team and 1980 team, they had a starting 5 plus a bench.
Plus a bench. Coming off the bench, and 6-man, that's it. And he was tough. As that 6-man, he didn't get upset and say, I want to start. You know, it wasn't all that animosity stuff, you know, keeping the team all confused, who gonna do what tonight and all that. And because that's kind of what happened to us. Then probably like the 10th grade. But we had so much going on with other players that was on the bench. We didn't really have a bench. They wanted to play, get more playing time.
Before going much to play, good enough of it. It was always the lower grade against the higher grade. Third grade versus the fourth grade. And a year later, it was fourth grade versus fifth grade. Always out to prove which grade was the best. Physical education teachers walked along the charts 20 were the catalyst in creating the competitive fire that ran deep in these guys.
Well, I was always athletically interested, inclined, and so once I graduated from high school, I entered college and I wanted to be a coach. And so once I did graduate, I came to Wetumpka to do my student teaching. And I was able to get a job here. And in fact, I've spent pretty much my entire career here working. And for the first part of my career, I taught physical education, and I was able to try to help kids do what I was able to do when I was coming through in high school.
After school, they would continue their battles after Wetumpka Recreation Center, affectionately known as the Rec. The old basketball court there too has long been converted. Just the asphalt remains now. Often, they would combine as fourth and fifth graders, challenging much older players, many who were grown men on the old asphalt basketball court. And boy, would they battle. Often knocked out with bloody knees and a few bloody noses too. All the while being groomed for a destination that one day would unite a once segregated town like nothing before them and nothing after them to this very day.
Well, guys really need a lot of motivation. When you're telling those guys, well, it doesn't matter how good you want to be. You know, like I said, everybody knew they were pretty good, or could be pretty good, but until they convince themselves, you know, we got something special here. And we don't do nothing else. We don't even know, we want to do our legacy, I guess, to the high school, you know. You guys got that opportunity. You know, we never walk away from our opportunity. And, Surely, it did take one motivation for me, you know, I was kind of glad to be with those guys, because like I said, I watched them in the state tournament their junior year, and I had no idea by the senior, I'd be sitting on the bench with them. So it really didn't take a lot of motivation, you know, we just try to stay focused, and I told them, just stay focused, guys, so you got something special here. And in fact, it may be a while before anybody goes back to back, you know, especially in the time.
Well, you know, after we won it in '79 and then to get back to the state tournament in '80, the pressure really was off in 1980. We felt like we had been groomed to be where we were both years, you know, I mean, even going back to grade school, we felt like, we never felt like we would ever lose any ball game. We never lost any home basketball game the whole time we played from 8th grade all the way through. But in '80 at the state tournament, it really was easier because we had been there, we knew what to expect, and we felt like we belonged, and there was nobody that was going to knock us off the throne. For us, it was like being in those 2 years, you know, we really tried. It's just made a whole lot of difference in our lives all these years, even 42 years later. That feeling still feels good.
In the early on, when we was younger, maybe 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade, we spent a lot of time in the neighborhood playing out in the level that Greg, Bernard, Matt, myself, James Bike, his older brother Michael Bikes. We spent a lot of time playing at the level. As we got older, we spent most of everybody that in Wetumpka went to a place called Wetumpka Recreation Center that was ran by Mr. Isaac Thomas at that time. And that's where we really got to be able to play basketball. We played some of the Wetumpka legends, Todd Cook, Jerry Bikes, Larry Kiffin, Alan Wattee, and the list could go on and on, Preacher Cook,
those were the guys that really gave us that drive and that push to play. And you know, I had older brothers, Raymond, who really pushed us. Guys that who grew up in the level to, you know, go out and do what you do, and playing against those guys, Todd and Jerry Rice and YT, those guys pushed us. We always played with older guys, you know, Speedy, Denzel, those were the guys that really pushed us.
For long, they were in junior high, and they quickly became the toast of all of Elmore County. Perfect 16-0 junior high record, often annihilating opponents by 30 points or better in games. A loss at the end of the season in the junior high regional spoiled an otherwise perfect year. When the 1978-79 season rolled around, they were battle-tested and game-ready. Head coach Stokely Batesmore would have challenged, provided play time for such a talented group, but he dialed up just the right mixture, as the 29 victories were the most in school history, and of course the state championship was the crown jewel that came at the conclusion of the season. It had been years in the making, as far back as third grade.
It was really tough. And older guys had practice was tough. You had end of practice, you might be bloody. You had, I mean, it was almost like you had to fight out there. There wasn't no fight, everybody loved each other. But the experience that I had, it made me better in life and later on my senior year. It made me tougher because everyone, I was the smallest guy on the team. I think it was 200 classes, me and James Bites. And so we were the young guys, so for us playing time, we didn't get that much, but for us getting in the trenches and practice and stuff, we was right there with it, and it prepared us for the for our senior class and for the tournaments later on. But it was very, very tough.
You know, about these guys, it was tough for me because I was stepping up, you know, into the senior level. So they was all like, you know, knocking me around, getting me ready, getting me tough. So that's mainly, and the training was so hard, that really prepared me for things.
Yes, sir. I was just thinking about I wasn't ready to go home. Everybody was depending on me. So I told them, I said, we got this, who we playing next? So I know at one time I was in like 30, 40 in a row at practice. So I did, hey, just took it to practice and just let it fly. At first, we tried to call time out. Made me think about the second one, but once that first one went, that second one started back.
Who had literally been groomed for such accomplishments when they were snot-nosed knuckleheads. It was taught that they would get state championship rings. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, months. Well, you get the picture. Months roll into year after year after year after year. 5 years, no rings. 10 years, no rings. 20 years, no rings. The guys came together for a small reunion on the 30th anniversary of the first championship course, the big topic was the rings. There was a whole lot of talk, but still no action towards securing those elusive rings. Fast forward 12 years and now 42 years later, the state championship rings are still heavy on their minds.
Well, I was we always had a high. Back in late 70s, early 70s and 80s, to be we came back to big Louis Jackson and we want to prove that we can understand.
Well, honestly, for me, the feeling was I was playing for soccer. The first year was a joke. It was all difference. We'd come off a heartbreaking regional final loss to BB Comer when I was a sophomore. But we had a great team return. One that played together since the 6th grade, so we knew we could be special if it all came together. We were good. We had depth. We had 10 people who could play, and we just enjoyed winning. And most of all, we relished and appreciated the glory and notoriety that came with it. We had a few hiccups along the way with some injuries, but finished strong down the stretch. But we got the tough, which was the first one. It was behind us, but we knew how to win under pressure as we started to prepare for year number 2.
Yes, that's right. I consider myself a key role on the team because I consider the team mine. At the time when we wanted to establish the championship, I realized that was something that didn't just occur. It was something that had actually taken place years ago when the guys was growing up playing in backyards, gymnasiums, all over the city of Wetumpka. It actually began at W.B. Doty High School, Wetumpka Middle School, and ended up at Wetumpka High on the big stage at the University of Alabama.
Folks around town still talk about Big Louis, Chips, Jefferson, and his patented turnaround fadeaway jumper off the man. A man who was instant energy, crashing over all others, and Louis Teddy Washington with his lightning quick hands often ripping the ball out of opponent's hands without them understanding how. And Steve Slewfoot Slaughter would drill the deep ball from his patented corner position, and Jerry Holt running the 2 position, catching passes on the wings and drilling his quick release jumpers, and Danny Thin Man Williams, the only lefty of the crew, who could swish the nets anywhere on the floor. Everyone still remembers Martin Camp Crenshaw with his bow legs and his tailor-made mid-range jumper, gray hot pockets, terror, his quick moves to the basket and jumpers from the wing, and Curtis Frank Mitchell with his smooth inside and wing moves, and the Cook Boys. Year apart in age, with Big Coon, a high jumper with a serious corner shot, and Bill Coon, a battle axe with a pin off the dunk inside Tony Cox Simmons. On the 1980 team, but boy, could he shoot the deep ball. Then the other man, James Banks, with his quick feet and fancy ball handling. And how he beat out the support staff, the managers, Ray Goodman and Brown, which would be Ray Molyneux, Chris Goodman, and Tim Brown. Feeding water, coats, and towels to the champions like the best in the land. And the old man, Stephen Roy, the statistician, awesome game summaries. All together, these guys were and still are Wetumpka's pride Wetumpka's first and only state basketball champions, 42 years and counting. And what about those state championship rings? Well, thanks to the mayor, the city council, the town that never forgot the spirit of these champions and the unity and pride that still rings true in this city today. Here they are, guys, here they are. Yes, they're from Wetumpka. Couldn't be prouder. If we can't hear it, they'll never allow it. We're from Wetumpka. Good, prouder.
Let's give a big hearty thank you to Lucius Williams. Is Randy present? Oh yeah, let's give a big. Let's give a big thank you to Randy Dunn too. Didn't that make you feel good? Now, I didn't mean that. I've always been glad I was born in Wetumpka, Alabama. And I've always told the folks I serve in Montgomery, Alabama, that the dirt in Wetumpka is much better. Please welcome Mr. Brandon Dean from Alabama High School Athletic Association and Coach Fred Jennings will follow. Now, you perhaps don't know that Brandon Dean fellow is a very good member of my church. His father, the late Commissioner Elton Dean, who loved Lewis Jackson like a brother. Let me tell you a story. Can I tell you Lewis? Yeah. When Lewis was applying for the job at Alabama State, somebody else from Wetumpka called me that day and said, hey, maybe you could get to Elton Dean and help my friend get the job at Alabama State. All right. And the person from Wetumpka that called me was my cousin. And I know you want to know that, but you got to pay money to get that in. So I said, sure, I'll call Elton right now. And I hung the phone up and I dialed Elton 399-5279. I still remember the number. I said, hey Elton, I've got my cousin just called, said, a good coach has applied for the job at Alabama State. I want you to do everything you can to help this man get the job. I already knew the coach because I watched him coach. And he said, Reverend, you don't want to do that today. I said, I do want to do it. That's why I called you. He said, you don't want to do that after I tell you that Lewis Jackson applied. I said, Elton, I didn't call you today. And Lewis got the job. That's Elton's younger son, Mr. Brandon Dean, and thank you for being here. It's awesome to be here and meet you today. And give a good God bless you for Mr. Fred Jennings again. Okay, let's get the logistics straight.
start what we came here for. We're going to go ahead and introduce the 1979 and 1980 3A state championship, the Wetumpka Indians. 1979 state champions. Number 10, Steve Slewfoot Slaughter. Washington. Number 24, Danny Thin Man Williams. Number 30, Chris Frank Mitchell. Number 34, Lewis Chips Jackson. All right, for your 1980 state champions. We have number 11, Steve Slewfoot Slaughter. Number 13, James Weiss. Number 15, Danny Thin Man Williams. Number 23, Lewis Teddy Washington. Number 25, Greg Hot Pockets Terrell. Number 33, Lonzo Little Cool Cook. Number 41, Martin Tam Crenshaw. And number 53, Tony Doc Simmons. We have our manager, Louis D. Matt Grayson. Statistician, Ricky Emile.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Manager, Chris Goodman. Statistician Sally Stevens. Your assistant coach, Coach Charles Johnson. Last but not least, your head coach, Coach Stokely Bazemore. These are your 1979-1983 state championship.
We're so honored standing, so let's just remain. We are at the end of a wonderful afternoon. I want to thank the organizers, and I don't know how many persons are responsible. If you are part of organizing this, you're on the stage, lift your hand. Come on, don't do that. All right. If you're part of organizing and you're standing out there, raise your hand. I see somebody who's in the very back. And we've already recognized our mayor. We are so very grateful to Mayor Williams, the city council, our players, coaches. I didn't do one thing that I meant to do because there are still some parents who are alive. So if you are a parent, let's see you raise your hand real high. Just real high. Lord, can we thank you for parenting? It's a good bunch. I see you. How many siblings out there? You all proud of these guys? All right, and so we've come to the end. Thank you for being present today. I'm a preacher for 43 years, so you know I got to get into prayer, right? Okay, now I'm glad you know that. Thank you. Let's bow again. For a few moments, oh Lord, we pause to thank you for what you have done. 1979 and 1980. For our players, for our coaches, for parents, for cheerleaders, for every teacher, and for every person who participated in these young men's development. For it was all of the above, communities, neighborhoods. We thank you today, for you brought great joy to every person of Wetumpka, Alabama. And we praise you because all of us were not blessed with athletic gifts and abilities. But you blessed these to succeed and to go beyond the rest of us who played. We celebrate with them their joy. And we thank you because you make every good thing possible. Be with us as we go, and we promise to stay with you. In Christ's name, amen. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, before we go, there's a couple things I want to say. First of all, we want to thank everyone for coming out. Protocol has been given to the mayor who made this event possible for us. But there's one thing I want to say. B-Mac and Ted and I started talking about this, and kept pushing it. We talked about it in the 30-year reunion, and which this is 13 years later from that. But we started having lunch and talking about this deal and trying to put it together. And we got in contact with our other teammates and started talking about it and started contacting everyone. But Protocol has given all the things that have been given. But I want to thank Ted for all that he's done. B-Mac in D.C., he was coming home every week, and every other week we sit down and talk about this thing. But Ted really got down to getting lead work. And he made all the phone calls, sent out all the text messages, making things happen. And he's not looking for any glory, but I want to do it publicly because he put the effort in. The work he put in, and I just love these guys, love the city. We talking about all the things that came out supporting us throughout the years, and go in this.